Hello, and welcome to the Scrapyard. I'm your host, Nathan Mulepolder, here with Taylor,
Wingus,
and Xavier,
Dingus.
Today we are going to be talking about the All-Star Weekend, which did not take place during a weekend, and we are, going to also be talking about something special, our 10 subscriber special.
Oh, snap.
Ooh.
Let's go.
Ooh.
If you want to find us on social media, you can do that at Scrapyard Media on Twitter or Instagram. There will be a link to our Discord in the description below. Also in the description below is a link to an audio-only version of this podcast. Roll intro.
Do you come from a land down under? Women go and men wonder.
Okay, let's get right into it. So, first off, we got the All-Star Game. Our predictions from last episode, we all chose the Atlantic Division, and we were very right.
4-1, baby.
It was not a 4. Oh, it was a 4.
It was a 4-1.
It was a
4-0.
It should have been a 4-0, but this weird thing happened when they went all New York Excelsior dudes and Profit. Suddenly they choked in a big moment, and it was like, interesting. So it was just, it was a very New York thing to almost cement the 4-0 and then kind of choke a little bit, but then they got it back. So
They got it back.
Yeah, it was good. We all knew it was going to be Atlantic just by looking at the roster.
It's just a better roster.
It was just a better roster.
It's just filled with just demons. Like,
yeah.
top to bottom. Like, there's, like, even though the New York Excelsior and Profit roster didn't do as well, like, the fact that you could just be like, yo, here's a New York Excelsior starting roster, and they were just throwing Profit, the best player in the Overwatch League.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that you could do that, like, there's, I thought the Pacific Division was more, like, had a lot of crazy, like, offensive potence.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, the Atlantic Division just kind of felt like a team. Like, it felt like they've been playing together for a while. I mean, a lot of them have, but
I feel like the Atlantic Division had a bunch of the old boys, and then the Pacific Division has all, like, the new guys, and it was kind of like, when you saw Aming get up there, you were like, oh, it's just a meme team at this point. It's just going to be jokes.
Yeah. So, notwithstanding of all that, what was your favorite moment from Wednesday?
My favorite moment from Wednesday, I have two.
Then which one's your favorite?
I can have two
You got
favorites.
two, man.
I can have two favorites.
Favorite means they're mutually exclusive, though.
No, my two favorites.
Communist host over
It
here.
says-
You
I'm
must.
sorry.
It says favorite moments from Wednesday.
That is true.
So,
Man, just revealing the teleprompter to everyone.
my favorite moments from Wednesday, I think it was Bren actually popping off, because it kind of sparked a whole meme for the rest of the All-Star games. My least favorite moment were those pants he was rocking.
They were a
But-
little rough.
They were a little rough. But my other favorite moment was, like, I think the all healers, because that was one of the funner matches, all the support heroes, because you really got a chance to see all these, like, these actual support mains and some, like, not support mains come in and get to just only heal or only do this, and, like, it was cool to see how flexible that the support groups can be, because there's now plenty, like, with Baptiste, with Zen, with Brigitte, there's plenty of, like, actual DPS in the support role, and it was nice to see that, like, oh, you could do this weird 6-stack in, like, I don't know, like, just a fun game and still be able to, like, pull out in front.
Yeah, and it was nice seeing all the support players kind of get to do crazy stuff. No, that was super cool. Favorite moments? I mean, Bren, for one.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure we were collectively, like, losing our mind, because I didn't expect that. And then, it was just, like, I'm pretty sure he had, like, some of the craziest just general stats, like Overwatch League or Overwatch League adjacent on Widowmaker ever.
Yeah.
Like, it was insane, and
Didn't
it
he have,
spawned...
like, over... Almost, it was either
He had, like,
almost
48%
50, yeah, 48%
I think he
critical
had the-
accuracy, not just accuracy.
I think he had the top score on Gibraltar in the league
It was
right now.
stupid.
Like,
And
one of the
yeah.
top scores, like the top 3.
And it spawned him going one-on-one with Gesture
Yeah,
at
that was
halftime, which
great.
was also incredibly fun, because you had, everyone hyping up Gesture. You had the whole squad there, and the fact that Bren was able to get 2 shots on Gesture was incredible.
It's ridiculous.
And the hype that, that's just a fun... They did not have that planned.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the fact that after Wednesday they were like, you know what? let's try this during halftime. You know, that's such an interesting,
speaking of
fun
that,
thing.
It was also cool to see how during the Widow 1v1s all the way until like, you know, the big one,
The finals, yeah.
the finals. It was cool to see like the shot guys come out and support people, and it was really nice to have that, like, to see those players actually get to be like the support behind, because you never see like the people who are sitting on the bench backstage being like, yeah, go team, unless you follow all the teams on social media, and the social media is happening to like record everything going on backstage. So I thought that was really cool to see all these like players come out, and like especially watching them run from one side of the stage to the other every time a shot was like exchanged. That was really that was a lot of fun.
It was super fun. It felt like literally I view my entire world through the lens of the NBA. But it felt like the dunk contest. Like, you know, the dunk contest is the main event, and the Widow 1v1 was kind of the main event of Wednesday night. And it felt cool because, you know, the dunk contest, part of it's the dunk, but part of it is seeing the teammates on the sideline losing their mind when their boy hits a crazy dunk, or when there's a, you know, when Aaron Gordon does some crazy dunk, and the whole, you know, the reactions are a part of the fun. And so part of the fun for the Widow 1v1s was the fact that they did have kind of the teammates backing them up, and, you know, people in the background being hyped. But it really kind of lended to, you know, this whole feeling of camaraderie, and this whole feeling that, you know, this is kind of a weekend where the Overwatch League comes together to have fun and support each other. And you don't really get to see that because it's such a grind throughout the season that it's nice they have this break.
You know, I have to say, I was going to say my favorite moment was Bren, but I feel like that's too easy. So what I have to say is actually my favorite moment was the series of moments where Sinatra just kept getting slept on Kings Row.
That was hilarious. I watched that so many times.
Was that on Wednesday?
Yeah, no, that was All-Star game.
That was the All-Star game?
I don't have a favorite from Wednesday that isn't Bren. That's the problem.
Okay.
Like,
not even the McCree battle-off?
Well,
cool.
You know what? No, that would be my favorite moment. Just seeing them all roll off like Niagara Falls, saying it's high noon, was probably one of the greatest things I've ever seen in Overwatch.
I also thought they played, after like the first time going through that final push where they all like popped the ult to like, just move that payload one at a time. They popped the ult so nobody could touch it. That was really smart. That was like so well done.
Yeah, that was
a really
that's some stuff you think like, let's like that's
pretty good.
Big brain stuff.
Yeah, that was.
So yeah, no, it was a super cool, like, kind of just 2 days of games and getting to see these players let loose.
Now that I've said my favorite moment from the actual All-Star match, what are your favorite moments, both of you?
I don't know, seeing everybody gotta just play what they're good at.
Yeah.
You know, I love GOATs, and it's cool, but it's nice seeing Haxel play Genji. It's nice seeing Sinatra get to mess around on Tracer again. It's nice seeing Super get to play Winston. You know, he doesn't get to play Winston a lot. It's nice seeing Prophet get a show that, oh yeah, he can do literally anything. So it's nice seeing that these players just kind of all get to have fun and play these heroes that they're excellent at, and not have to try so hard with GOATs and this defined meta that's just, you know, kind of, it's fun, but there's something also super fun of watching some crazy Widow shots, or, you know, crazy Diva plays or something, you know, that we don't really get to see.
Taylor, yours?
My favorite moment from the actual All-Star game was just the continued shit-talking from all the casters. Like, there was a moment where...
We use the refined term, the continued raillery. I'm sorry.
That was
F.
Damn, that's 2 weeks in a row with a good try.
That wasn't a good try. I'm just saying, we can use raillery. It's a big brain term.
But I thought the like continued shit talking or raillery was what really like made the All-Star games a lot more fun, because there was moments where, you know, Sinatra's getting slipped a bunch of times, Dogman's doing something, and you can just hear the casters coming back at like Sleepy and Dogman for calling them out and all these things. It's like, that's not too good, and like this and that, and it's like, it really shows that the Overwatch League, when you see these like All-Star matches, how like close everybody is as family. And it was just something really sweet about like how close everyone was, and like Mika got to do her thing with like the cosplay, and like Danny Lim got to do all his behind the scenes and had fun. He's kind of a jokester, so he got to do that whole bit where he only spoke in Korean. And I thought there was a lot of good things in both days. It's just...
It was a well done All-Star weekend.
If I had to boil mine down instead of having the run of Sinatra getting slept, my favorite moment would actually be in the first round with Pines Ult getting eaten as McCree. Speaking of eating, though, for us to do that, we need to go to a sponsor.
Do you come from a land down under? Women go and men wonder.
Okay, guys. So, as we are from the Bay Area, went to the Shock Watch Party at the Esports Arena in Oakland.
Yeah, gang. Oakland
Jack
represent.
London Square.
510, baby. Let's go.
It was pretty great. We had a good time.
Town business.
Okay.
We all enjoyed some stuff. There were some great things that happened.
Yeah.
What did you guys enjoy the most?
I'll hop on this. All right, so this is like a big picture.
Without talking about me, what did you enjoy the most?
This is like a big picture thing. One, Nathan got 3-0'd.
That was my thing.
He got 3-0'd in a
Trivia.
I will let him explain his failure. But no, I think what was cool is it's more of like a big concept thing, and Taylor can talk about specifics. But what I like about this watch party, and what I like about kind of Overwatch League in general is, and the Golden Guardians are the Warriors-based kind of esports team for League of Legends. And I saw the jersey, and I was thinking, I don't think I've ever seen a Golden Guardians watch party. I don't think I have really seen a TSM watch party or a Cloud9 watch party, or I'm sure there are SK Telecom watch parties, but that's
I'm sure
in
there
Korea.
are watch parties,
But that's in, like,
but we don't
Korea.
hear about them.
Yeah, and there are watch parties for Worlds and like these huge tournaments, but like this is an all-star game. And there are watch party for just like mid-season games, And I was thinking like it's such a brilliant thing, and the Overwatch League does such a good job at building these teams as a part of the community and building these teams to have an identity. Because if you look at TSM or Team Liquid, they have identities, but the identities are kind of nebulous. Like you couldn't just watch a League of Legends game and be like, "Oh, I know exactly what TSM's deal is."
Yeah.
I know exactly where they're from. But
Yeah.
you can look at the San Francisco Shock and be like, "Oh, San Francisco," and you could be like, "Oh, they have watch parties by Berkeley that they work
San
with."
Jose, Oakland.
Yeah, like they work with
San
all these
Francisco.
local organizations. And so the watch party, it does such a good job at cultivating a fan base and kind of building an identity. And I think that's super cool. And, with home games and all that, the fact that they are building kind of an identity is invaluable to me. And so I think it's just cool that you could even have a watch party, because in a lot of other leagues, it just doesn't exist.
happen,
It just doesn't exist.
I think it's cool because this is like the second time that we've gone to a watch party. The first one was when Sinatra premiered in San Francisco.
Let's go. Gang.
And I mean, that line was in like
It was in San Francisco. Is that like this like arcade bar?
it was like this old arcade like bar. It was like on the third floor where they do all the like these kind of watch parties or like events. And like the line literally like wrapped around the whole second floor.
It was crazy packed.
And it was so packed, and we literally got like our Shock City shirts. We were like the last like 4 people to get them, like us and this NYXL fan behind us. And it was like, it was super cool because it's like we really wanted to get them, and it was it was a lot of fun. And I think seeing that crowd, because it was like, this is a Shock playing game, there was so many people there, and there was people there that just kind of happened to come in. They were like, there's this event going on.
Yeah.
And it was like this dude that I overheard at that first one that was like, "Oh yeah, no, I'm super into this game," and I just invited my friends over afterwards for work. I said I'd buy them some drinks, I'll show them the game, and it's the San Francisco team, and they were like, "Yeah, sure, we'll come." And that's the thing that I've heard with like when Philly got into playoffs, people from Philadelphia were like, "I don't know anything about this game, but I'm gonna support them. I'll buy tickets, I'll go."
It means something, yeah.
And even with like the few like small kids we saw there with like their mom, and like there was another kid that was like playing on the like, because they had a whole setup of
open PCs
PCs, and there was this kid playing Overwatch right next to you, and his dad just was like, this is cool, it's like something you want to do, have fun. And he just sat on the other side on just watching the Warriors game. And it was cool because it was like, the dad didn't know anything like about it. He's like, obviously it's a video game, obviously my kid's like super into it, but it was just, the watch parties have this like just like niceness to them, and they have people who are just like in our community that just do like that come in, they set up booths and they're like, here's some stickers, here's this, and there's like fans that came with like drawings and that those get shared all over the place, and you can just tell that the shock in general have a really wide base out of like the people who are running shit out here.
Yeah, and I think there weren't a lot of people there. Don't get me wrong. Like, but the fact that you can even get people to come out on a Wednesday when the Warriors are playing, the fact that you can even get like
Thursday,
Thursday, Thursday, while the Warriors are playing, the fact that you can even get a person in Oakland to want to be there, that's something, you know. That shows that there's at least a dedicated enough fan base where they're like, oh, the Warriors game happening right now. Let me go hit up the Shock watch party and keep up with the game on my phone. Or keep up with the game on one of the open PCs.
Yeah.
But they're still there supporting the team. And if you look at a lot of the watch parties you see on like social media, they do some at Berkeley, they do others. Those get pretty healthy, you know, viewers. But, you know, those are on like Saturdays and Fridays
and
when the Warriors aren't playing. So it's something. But the fact that you can even get people for an all-star game.
And a lot of them are at like
crazy.
the esports like areas in like Cal and like Cal Berkeley and like Esports Arenas down in San Jose. They've done some in Sacramento. And it's all these places where it's like, I think it's just, maybe it's because we're from the Bay Area and there's so much pride in like this area in general that like people will come out and support no matter where it is, because they knew so many people that were in like the VIP section that didn't even like register as VIPs. There was so many people that like Corey knew by name, like it was just something where you're like sitting there and you're like, wow, I am in a room with like people who just know each other. Like there was a fan that showed up like an hour early and they asked, will you help out setting up? And she was like, no problem. She took pictures and she did all this stuff and she was really cool. Wish I got her name. But yeah, it was just like all these people that just come out and they're like, yeah, you know, the girl that Nathan lost to, she even was like, yeah, I think they came in and bought all this stuff from my GameStop, so I had to come check it out. Like, she was like, I'm into Overwatch and all that, but she was just like, I think they even bought all the like giveaways from my GameStop, and I was like, that's really cool.
And that's why localization is so like the smartest ever thing.
Okay, we keep roasting me, so I gotta talk about it. I gotta talk about it.
He got trashed.
Okay, first thing I want to mention is that it was really cool. If you are a fan of the Shock or just Overwatch in general, you should definitely go to the next one, whenever it is.
Hella
Check
fun.
social media, Shockwaves, all that. I highly recommend it.
And even if you're not in the Bay Area, like if you live in Philly or you
fly
know,
out here
Toronto,
and go to one.
if you live in Philly or Toronto or Dallas, probably probably has crazy fan base.
Just
like,
watch,
just
Just go to
keep
them.
updated on like social media. Try and find
That's
it
fun,
on
yeah.
like
Okay,
things.
now then. To me getting trounced.
Explain
But
itself.
right before I talk about me getting trounced, there were some fun things there. One of the most fun moments besides me getting 3-0'd was we, after the fact, played on the open PCs. We did a 3-stack, and I found out that I need way higher sensitivity to turn around as Reinhardt, but we had fun.
It was the first time we ever played on PC, and it was the first time we have ever played together.
Yeah.
And it was, oh god,
It was great.
super fun.
I was way too loud.
And
we're
and somebody
into it.
locked onto Mercy, which did not help my case, so I had to go Moira.
Yeah, she was holding that mouse like, what is happening?
Okay, so now
I was killing it though, man.
me getting trashed. Okay, so they had this really fun thing where they did trivia to do giveaways, and I thought that was a great idea. So pretty much got 2 people up there, trivia, buzzing with your own name. First one, I was like, man, I could have been up there. I could have won that. Second one, they did voice lines, and I was like, hey, I did pretty good at that. Third or fourth one rolls around, and
the confidence of a king.
no, so you know, my opponent enters the stage, and they're asking if anyone's there. I'm raising one of those, you know, the sound makers up in the air with the bravado of a champion, and I get called up for my confidence.
Yeah, I was hyping your boy up, man.
We'll get into this in a little bit to the Q&A, but they already knew we were from a podcast. I got called out for that, so the pressure was on, and I choked.
He choked.
That's an understatement.
So,
He choked bad.
So, first question, you know, what's Tracer's girlfriend's name? I personally have to say my name. I was at a disadvantage. Riley is easier to say than Nathan. Quickly. Just putting that out there.
Nathan has the th in it, so it's true. It's kind of true.
Could
but
just say Nate.
I mean, I guess I could have. Point being, The other questions were ridiculously hard.
They were no.
They were.
In fairness, they were deep cuts.
So like the last one, I knew I was screwed because it was what is Reinhardt's favorite Hasselhoff album,
Yeah,
which I don't even remember now.
It's Knight Rider.
Yeah, okay,
It's
but
a deep
then
cut, though.
but then the other one,
But that's like
the
an
one that caught
interaction
us,
you have to have with
Yeah,
Lucio.
the one that really caught me off guard, Widowmaker's tattoo.
Yeah.
I didn't even know she had words on her tattoo. If anything, I thought it was going to be like mi amor or something. I knew it was something in French. It turns out that it's Nightmare, for any of you that didn't know. Another Nightmare would be running out of money, so let's go to a sponsor.
Do you come from a land down under? Where women go and men wonder.
And we're back. So, going on with the Shock watch party, there was an awesome Q&A they did with Andy Miller and Chris Chung, which, if you don't know, are the owner and manager of Shock. It was pretty fun. These two both got asked questions. I wanted to ask the Mimi question of, would you guys let Bren on the team? But it didn't feel appropriate.
Would you cut Sinatra to sign Bren?
Ooh, man, yeah. That's who they should cut to sign Bren. But,
Just get rid of Sinatra.
so let's throw to Xavier first on this. Because I feel like he asked some interesting things.
And interesting.
Interesting thing,
No,
but
no.
it had interesting implications. Taylor's was more so interesting, so I want to give her more time, so I'll throw to you first.
Oh, alright, cool. So, I'm just going to talk about the whole Q&A in general. It is confirmed, my theories on how this Shock team stacks up. Moth is the leader of this team. He is the Draymond Green of this team. He is the Marcus Smart of this team. He is the emotional leader of this team.
He's what Washington Justice needs.
Exactly. Without him, I don't think the Shock would be where they are, just because he's such a stabilizing force.
And Moth is the oldest out of the group,
Yeah.
too.
And so, I asked, like, who, calms the hardest? I watch a lot of streams. Fusions is a maniac. He calms like it's game 7 of the playoffs.
If you watch Fusion's mouth in any of, like, when they show, like, playthrough, he's like, blah, 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 blah. His, like, lips are... I'm surprised he doesn't have a mucus problem.
He's insane. So, so they're saying that Moth and,
We need to let that go.
I will never let it go.
You were trying a little too, so they're saying that, Moth is probably, like, the hardest worker on the team. And, I mean, yeah. Nevix
You can
is...
see it.
No, yeah, you can definitely see that Moth is one of the hardest workers, and he also said Nevix is a hard worker, and you can really see that with Moth's play. I mean, he's one of the best supports in the league, but you can also see that with the short snippets of comms we've gotten. It's always Moth that's like just like the even-keeled voice.
Yeah.
Super has a very high-pitched, crazy voice.
Yeah.
Like Violet's pretty crazy.
They did say that Super was in the house the most annoying when he has to stream. It's something that they've slowly gotten used to, but Super is apparently the one, because he's a screamer when he's playing, he's the most annoying. And it was probably even worse with that whole incident that happened with the Somer that kept hacking him.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was hilarious.
I have to say, Super's like the Tom Holland of, like, or I guess the Peter Parker of the team.
He's Tom Holland.
He's Tom Holland.
Yeah.
So it's,
if they ever did a movie about the SF Shock, Tom Holland would play Super.
for sure.
Definitely.
They're that legendary. No, but
That'd
yeah,
be awesome.
it confirms that Moth is like the dude that makes this team run.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if Moth like stopped playing for some reason, this team, they would still be a playoff team, but I think they would significantly decline, just because he's such a stabilizing force.
They also said how when Dante left, because somebody had asked, or I think Andy had asked Chris, when Dante left, how effective, like how much did it affect players when somebody that they're really close to leaves, and they said, well, Baby Bay had been their hype man before, but they had said it gets emotional in the house, so that shows that they also have like a really good like relationship between everybody. Like obviously there's some, like if they end up all in a stream, like streaming together, or they all end up in like a scrim together playing online, they're obviously gonna have some moments where they get like toxic and stuff. But I feel like it's like anytime you've watched any YouTuber who like lives together, where it's like, you want me to come in there and prove it, and they walk into the other room and they're like, what did I say? It's like it has that kind of like bro-ish like bromance, which it includes that like triplet of romance, that love triangle between Sinatra, Violet, and super.
And not to disparage any other organizations, but with that, Dante leaving and the team kind of being devastated, and then, them just having to explain, like, yo, this is business. Like, Dante's not dead. You'll see him again.
And off of that, they did mention that Dante and other players are always welcome to come and visit.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
That they have, so that's nice.
And Dante's mom still has his jersey.
Yeah, and so it's like, these players never really had to do it. Like, this is their first time on a professional sports team. And so these things of trades and all this is shocking to them. And so it makes me think of other organizations that aren't as stable. I'm talking about your LAs, LA Valiant, not Gladiators, Valiant. I'm talking about your Valiants, your Justices, your Florida Mayhems who cleaned house. Like,
it's also,
when they flip their roster,
yeah,
kind of what happens, like, does turmoil happen, and are they able to wrangle these players?
It was also interesting because, like, speaking of, like, LA, and we know Space is, like, kind of their, like, guy, you can see how close he is with some of the Shock dudes, which was really interesting because I'm like, that would, if there was ever a team that he would, like, fit right into, it would be Shock, or, like, even like a Texas team,
Literally any other team.
Literally any other team. But my question, since I'm talking, I decided I would go up, and he kind of asked the two people in front of me, which was Riley, who 3-0'd Nathan in the trivia.
Nathan got
stop.
trashed.
And then her friend that she came with.
Man, I got trashed worse than the Pacific Division did.
Yeah.
I didn't even put up one.
Significantly worse.
I didn't even put up as good as Bren did.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Bren at least got 2 shots on gesture.
Oh, that's awful.
But because I had gone
Good job,
up,
though, Riley.
I gone up after 2 GameStop employees, which is who hosted the event with SF Shock. I was asked if I worked for GameStop, and I was like, no, I'm a podcast co-host, and which proceeded to when Corey announced that I was a podcast show host and the name of this podcast. I looked into the audience and proceeded to see Nathan and Xavier losing their shit. I then asked...
That was an accurate description, that's fair.
I then asked the question, like...
I'm sorry,
so,
it's losing their raillery?
Raillery.
And and then I had asked the question... And then I asked the question, with the home games coming, what are you most nervous about as the owner and the manager? And what are you, like... And where are you looking in the Bay Area to put the arena? Because it's something where Philly has announced where they're going. We kind of know where Dallas is. We know where Atlantis is going to be, where LA is, because they're all having home games. So I was like I don't know where, and it was cool because he was like, maybe Oakland, maybe Berkeley.
They kind of gave you a non-answer but an answer.
It's one of those things
I
where
mean,
he
they kind
ended
of
up
have to.
saying. He kind of ended up saying, like, a lot of our watch parties are big in San Jose. So they were thinking of doing it, like, but it's probably not going to be San Jose because that's not really the Bay Area.
Listen, it's going to be in Oakland.
It's probably
going to be in Oakland.
You know, I'm not reporting. I don't know anything. It's going to be in Oakland.
Yeah.
Like, all right. For some of you that don't live in the Bay Area, let's break this down. San Francisco, you're not fitting a 2,000 seat arena in San Francisco. You're not building one.
There's no room.
And yeah, there's no room in San Francisco. You're not doing it in San Francisco.
They're gonna blow us away and do it.
That'll be crazy. You're not doing it in San Jose because that's not the Bay Area. You can't be the San Francisco Shock and be in San Jose.
Because San Jose is such a big name itself. Like, unlike, because everybody kind of knows Oakland as, like, you know, it's Oaktown. It's this little area, but it's not like the big city like San Francisco or San Jose. San Jose's huge.
You just be the San Jose Shock. You just be like the Sharks.
Yeah.
Like, and then you work with the like. There's already a big team in San Jose you could just be a part of. So they're calling themselves San Francisco for a reason. Like the 49ers play wherever, but they got millions upon millions of dollars to have that arena there. The Shock aren't. So like, there's no reason to. And the 49ers were there for decades.
I mean, like, putting it in Oakland, you're still almost in San Francisco. Like,
it's
Oakland,
fine. It's
Oakland's probably
enough
the closest thing to San Francisco that is like
that you can do.
It has the same kind of energy. It's the same, you know. It's
also another thing. If you don't live in the Bay Area, all of us and every single person that we know would rather go to Oakland than San Francisco.
Have to go to San Francisco.
You know, it's such a burden to go to San Francisco.
even a BART trip to Oakland is easier than having to go all the way to San Francisco, because even when you BART to San Francisco, you still have to walk, Uber,
It's a
like
lot, yeah.
And
3 or
there's the
4
hills.
miles, and there's hills. Don't even get us started on the hills.
Wait. So I have a theory, and we have enough time for this theory. So the Warriors aren't playing in Oracle Arena next year.
That is a theory.
They're going to the Chase Arena in San Francisco. Oracle Arena hosts concerts.
Mm-hmm.
They host nothing else.
Yeah.
They hold concerts and ice skating shows for children.
And Monster Jam. Like
Monster Jam.
Monster Jam's in Oracle?
No, it's
Okay,
not.
I was going to say, like, is that a thing?
But it's right next to A's
Wrestling,
Stadium.
wrestling.
It's
Wrestling. So why couldn't you just hold it in Oracle?
That's
like
fair.
I don't know for sure if Oracle has like a small arena setup, because they're not filling up Oracle. They're 1,500 seats max, right?
Mm.
If they were to do
You
it,
could configure Oracle and have a big stage like the WWE does.
you can do it
and be
like
fine.
when I've gone to concerts in San Jose at the Shark Stadium.
They like
you can
half
just,
the arena.
You can just cut the stadium in half, just have the ground seats and
Absolutely.
the bottom floor. You don't even have to move it up to the balcony unless you
Exactly.
really want to. And the balcony is perfect spot to if you wanted to set up all the casters out there. If you wanted it easier like that, that would work.
Oracle feels perfect.
Yep. Oh, raillery. We are out of time for this segment, so let's go to an ad real quick.
You come from a land down under. Women go and men wonder.
Finally, we would like to thank the totally awesome and helpful Corey Vincent,
Shout out.
VP of Content at Energy Esports.
Gang, gang.
He was main speaker at that event, and he did an awesome job. He was a real fun guy, really cool guy, and he came and talked to us at the end of that match that was barely worth watching, unfortunately. RIP Pacific Division. And he was just a cool guy. He was very helpful. He got us to do this audio thing that we're doing now, so we're on that. Anything else you guys wanted to say about that?
No, shout out.
Yeah,
Just
no,
shout
shout out.
No, he's a cool guy. He used to do some podcasting and still does.
Yeah, he said it was really cool. Like the advice he gave us, it really motivated us to like come back and keep going. And
Push it to the next level,
Yeah, I mean we hit 10 subscribers.
We
so-
hit 10 subscribers.
10 subscribers?
Speaking of that, we actually have a 10 subscriber special that we'll go to. Well, an ad for it. Right now. Hello. You join us in a room. A small room in the city of Rodeo, California, where 2 podcasters, Xavier Johnson and Taylor Mulepolder, have decided to find Fleta. Fleta went missing after stage 1. It's strange because he was mostly the reason that they even won any games. However, what we believe may have happened is that Fleta took a course that led directly into an alternate parallel universe. As you can see here, after stage 1, our timelines diverged. As you can see here, after stage 1, our timelines diverged. At some point, they re-intersected around the time of the All-Star Games, allowing Fleta to start for the Pacific Division, but not for his own team during Stage 2. These 2, aided by me, will investigate and discover the disappearance of Fleta. Meet us here for finding Fleta. Be looking forward to that in the upcoming weeks. More news on it soon on Twitter or Instagram, which you can follow at Scrapyard Media. If you want to go in Discord and leave Fs in the chat for me getting 3-0'd, me making the raillery comment, or me in general, do that in the Discord description link below. If you want this audio only or future episodes audio only, there will be a link in the description below as well. And other than that, see you next time. Roll outro.
You come from a land down under.